Elite Facts presents
10 gadgets from the James Bond series. License to Kill, Felix's lighter. Although not directly intended as a gadget to be used in the field, this lighter was only intended as a party favor to people who attended CIA agent Felix Leiter's wedding. The one James Bond receives at the start of the film is faulty, as when it is lit up, the flame that comes out of the lighter is almost flamethrower-like. Towards the climax of the film, Bond fights the film's main antagonist, Sanchez, next to the wreckage of a gasoline tanker in what seems to be a losing battle. Lucky for Bond, he notices that Sanchez is covered in gasoline. When seeing this, he quickly uses the lighter to set Sanchez on fire. Some of the more simple gadgets can prove to be the most useful in desperate situations. Skyfall, palm print reader gun. Although the Craig era of Bond films has been more focused on espionage rather than gadgets and equipment, Skyfall presents us with one of the more useful gadgets in the Bond series. Q presents Bond with a Walther PPK that has a palm scanner built in, meaning that only Bond is able to operate the gun. This is incredibly useful in case his gun falls into the wrong hands. Tomorrow Never Dies, remote control BMW. In Tomorrow Never Dies, the official Bond vehicle of the film is a BMW 750iL, which, in all honesty, isn't much to look at. However, it comes with a really useful gadget in the form of a remote control device. In the film, it shows Bond quickly adapting to the device as he is controlling the car while literally lounging in the back seat. This little chase scene is incredibly enjoyable, all thanks to this gadget. Goldeneye, explosive ballpoint pen. Another gadget that proves to be simple but effective, the explosive ballpoint pen in Goldeneye is Alec Trevelyan's downfall as his lead programmer, Boris, tries to override a password set that is preventing Alex's plan from coming to fruition. While doing this, Boris is doing this weird pen flip trick that helps him focus whenever he's working, and unfortunately for him and everyone else involved with the Goldeneye project, this is the explosive pen that Bond was given at the start of his mission, and Boris accidentally triggers it to explode, causing the whole operation to become a complete failure. The Living Daylights, Whitaker's War Room. Although it's from a film in the series that people tend to forget about, Brad Whitaker's War Room is one of the rare villain gadgets that nearly kills Bond near the climax of the film. This gadget rigs up all of the miniature displays in the room that includes guns and cannons to a remote device. When activated, it fires live ammo at whatever the remote device is pointed at. Unfortunately for Whitaker, Bond is able to use one of his remote explosives in the form of a key ring and stealthily place it on a statue behind Whitaker and set it off so that the statue would crush him. If Bond didn't have this gadget, it would be safe to say that Bond would have lost this shootout. The Man with the Golden Gun, The Golden Gun. Although the film itself wasn't too well received, it did provide us with a memorable villain, Francisco Scaramanga, played by Christopher Lee, as well as a memorable gadget in the form of the Golden Gun. This gun is made up of everyday items that most people would find in their pockets, including a lighter, a cigarette case, a pen, a cufflink, and part of a belt that's used as the gun's bullet. The gun can only hold a capacity of one bullet before having to be reloaded. However, one bullet is all Scaramanga needs. The Spy Who Loved Me, Lotus Esprit Submarine. This one should be obvious. It's a Lotus Esprit that functions as a submarine. What's not to like? In The Spy Who Loved Me, there's a scene in which Bond and KGB agent XXX are being chased down by one of Karl Stromberg's henchmen who's in an attack helicopter. As a way to lose her, they use the submarine function of the Lotus to hide underwater. When the henchmen become confused at their disappearance underwater, it gives Bond enough time to fire onboard missiles straight up out of the water, destroying the helicopter that the henchmen were piloting. Next to the Aston Martin DB5, this car is iconic. From Russia with Love, Garrett Watch. One of the first gadgets used in the 007 film series, the Garrett Watch was a weapon created by the criminal organization known as Spectre. At the start of From Russia with Love, we're shown that Red Grant is more than efficient with this gadget, as he was swiftly able to dispose of a tester Bond. However, the gadget can easily be turned against its user, as Bond was able to use the watch to take out Red Grant during the film's climax on the Orient Express. Skyfall, M's light bulb bombs. This gadget is on the list because of how practical and crafty it is. Created by M herself, this device is created when placing a light bulb inside of a small plastic bag filled with small pieces of scrap metal and kerosene. When this rigged-up bomb is reinstalled into the light socket and switched on, it explodes, setting a small fire off in the room, as well as blasting the pieces of shrapnel around the room, making this gadget extremely dangerous. Goldfinger Aston Martin DB5. Whenever you think of James Bond, you have to think of what car he's driving. Although over the years he's constantly upgrading to more modern incarnations of the vehicle, the Aston Martin DB5 is known as the true Bond car. This is due to its classy but sport-like looks, along with some of the memorable gadgets that come along with it. This includes a rear bumper oil slick, rear window bullet shield, and of course, the ejector seat, which makes a glorious comeback in what is arguably the worst Bond film to date, Die Another Day, as part of the Aston Martin V12 Vanquish chase scene. This scene alone almost saved the entire film with how creative it was.
Thanks for watching another amazing video, folks. Subscribe for more from Elite Facts.